Ah, good to see you, my dear. Zoji found you, I take it. Come, we have much to discuss. I'm glad Zoji found you. Sometimes he actually manages to surprise me. You've already done so much. I hesitate to ask, but Lord Bacaro is reluctant to move forward with the peace talks while the Ascendant Order remains a threat. The Ascendant Lord and his minions are still out there somewhere. Lord Bacaro is hesitant to proceed when an attack could occur at any moment, but I can't keep the Alliance leaders here much longer. Their patience with the situation grows thin. They are a proud and fickle lot, but they have one thing in common, dear. They respect you. Go to the city palace and talk to them. Ask them to remain patient. Then speak to Lord Bacaro. See if you can convince him to let me get things started. Find the Alliance leaders at Gonvalin Palace and convince them to wait just a little longer. After that, look for Lord Bacaro at the city's western docks. He's been there for days, overseeing the Society of the Steadfast Relief efforts for Galen. I had to put them somewhere, dear, and Mandrake Manor isn't large enough to keep them comfortable and adequately separated. There's more than enough room in the palace to make sure they don't engage in any unchaperoned squabbling. That would never work. It took untold hours of planning and preparation to get them here in the first place, and then we nearly lost them on multiple occasions. No, this is our one chance for peace. We won't get another if they leave. According to the reports I received, you were there, my dear. You saw firsthand the destruction at Vastir, the rumblings from Ifilon. The Society of the Steadfast is sending aid to the islands as quickly as their ships can make the journey.
Of all the places for my brooch to come loose, it can't have fallen that far. I'm just not seeing it.
They've separated us, have us under constant guard. I feel like a prisoner. And all because Lord Bacaro wants to maintain the sanctity of his peace talks. But I want to hear your news. Where have you been, my friend? Druids and sea elves? Huh. Impressive as always. And have you learned anything more about the Ascendant Order and its mysterious lord? Yes, yes. For a Breton noble, Lady Arabelle seems quite competent. I know my father trusts her, despite her ties to Emmerich and the Covenant. We'll get to it. I can't wait to get out of this room so we can finally start talking.
Do you bring news, my friend? Is Lord Bacaro ready to summon us so we can finally engage in the discussions of peace? Well, that's something, at least. I swear, though, if something doesn't change soon, I'm going to call for Captain Zaji and return to my own domain. I've been absent long enough as it is. Locked away for my safety is not what I had imagined when I agreed to attend this conference. I'll abide a little longer, but my royal patience is growing quite thin. Go, my friend. End the threat so we can get to the business that brought us here.
I used to enjoy my visits to the archipelago. It was a welcome change from the hustle and bustle of my court. But because of the Ascendant Order, I'm practically a prisoner in here. But tell me, what have you been up to? More druidic traitors? I really must have a talk with their elders. And they were working with sea elves. That's not an alliance I would have predicted. But what about the Ascendant Order? Any sign of them or their lord? Aha, Arabelle. She's never failed me yet. Give her whatever help she requires. I haven't spoken to Irene or Ernskar since the celebration. I think I actually miss them. The guards are overly protective of us and we've had practically no contact. No. Lord Bacaro wants the peace talks to occur under controlled conditions. He's worried that if left to our own devices, we'd start another war. And I can't say he's wrong. We're all a bit hot-headed and stubborn, if you hadn't noticed.
This is not good. Rigert needs help.
Around High Isle and Amanos are glorious.
Let's get these supplies on board. The people of Galen need our assistance.
I'll take care of things here on High Isle in your absence, Lord Bacaro. May the Society's efforts on Galen bring the people of Vestir some relief.
Ha! The defender of the three thrones and the savior of the sisters. I'm afraid you've caught me at a bad time. The Society of the Steadfast is needed in Vestir, and my ship is ready to depart. I decided to oversee the relief efforts personally. Lady Arabelle uses every weapon in her arsenal. I suppose that's why I hired her. But the timing isn't right, my friend. There's too much at stake to risk another setback. Once the most recent threats have been eliminated, then we may begin. I was about to send word to Lady Arabelle. My scouts reported new Ascendant Order activity at the Dufort shipyards. I sent a messenger there to confirm these reports, but they have yet to return. I fear Duchess Alea has fooled us all. After you discovered that her brother was the Ascendant Magus and killed him, Duchess Alea claimed no involvement. She was stoic in her grief and assured me her brother acted without her permission or foreknowledge. Since you're here, if you're still working with Arabelle, then you can look into the validity of this threat. Discover what became of my messenger at the Dufort shipyards. That would ease my mind while I aid Vestir and get us closer to starting the peace talks.
Cyclop! Terrible news! Lady Arabelle has succumbed to some unknown malady. She's upstairs in bed waiting for you.
Welcome back, dear. And wipe that expression off your face. I'm not dead yet.
Lady Arabelle, you need to rest.
I want to hear all about your conversations with the Alliance leaders and Lord Bakara, dear. But I think we need to deal with this situation I find myself in first, if that's all right with you. Poison, I should think. It has all the usual signs. Right after you left, I received a package. My favorite wine. And a note of congratulations for saving the Alliance leaders. I should have known better than to pour a glass, but here we are. The note was suspiciously vague about that. If I hadn't been tired and thinking about 12 dozen other things, that should have set off a warning bell. Instead, no matter. Tell me, is Lord Bakara ready to start the peace talks? How can that be? Duchess Alea assured me she had retaken control of her shipyards. We'll deal with that later. Right now, I need you to figure out where that package came from. Determine who wants me out of the way. Nothing has been touched. Everything is still exactly where I left it. Examine the note and bottle carefully. See if you can trace them back to their origin. And talk to Ravana. She's been working to identify the poison and figure out an antidote. My life is in your hands. More often than you might expect, actually, comes with the territory. I am rather famous, dear. Still, I should have been more careful. I can't afford to make a mistake like that again. People who send expensive gifts usually want to take credit. Just guesses. I suspected the Ascendant Lord, but your news about the Dufort shipyards concerns me. Did we misjudge Duchess Alea? Was she working with her brother? Is she part of the Ascendant Order? We need evidence before we can make an accusation. Aside from the anonymous signature, it's the same as other notes I've received. Any distinctive markings on the bottle, dear?
Lady Arabelle is fortunate that Zaji sent for me, and not one of the Society of the Steadfast's Menders. They wouldn't have been able to counteract the poison. This poison smells slightly of garlic, and has all the earmarks of a druidic compound, but its effects remind me of much older recipes. No healer without druidic training would have even recognized some of the ingredients that make up the poison. No. But I have given Lady Arabelle a tincture that will keep her stable and slow down the poison's most deadly effects. I need to return to my workshop, analyze the components, and consult my ancient herbal apothecary. I'm sure I've seen this before. Just what Lady Arabelle asked. Discover where the poisoned wine came from and who sent it. I'll leave more of my tincture with Zaji and give him exact instructions. Then I need to go do research of my own. Meet me at my workshop as soon as you can.
Oh, I really hate being so impotent. Ravana tells me her tincture defers the worst effects of the poison, but I still feel weak. Like my blood is on fire. enough of my problems. Tell me what you saw when you examined the note and the bottle. Let me guess. The 571 vintage. I'd be hard-pressed to refuse such an exquisite wine. Ashcroft's Fine Goods and Imports. Only place on the island that might have any bottles available, other than the Duchess's private stores. Go talk to them, dear. Ask for Filion Ashcroft, the proprietor. He knows me well and keeps a spot in Bayside Artisans here in town. And while Ravana works on an antidote, I'll send Zaji to make sure the Alliance leaders don't accept any mysterious gifts.
We're short, no doubt about it. How did that happen?
Welcome to Ashcroft's Fine Goods and Imports. I am Filion Ashcroft, proprietor and expert on all things luxurious and exquisite. What might I help you with today? Let me see. Yes, a fine vintage. Very fine indeed. I may have sold a bottle or two recently, but I don't make a habit of discussing my clients' orders. What is this about, if I may be so bold? What? I had no idea! Lady Arabelle is one of my best customers. I swear on my reputation, that wine left this shop unaltered. In fact, I only made one sale that included this particular vintage recently. It was a rather large order, in fact. Oh, this is awkward. Castle Navir's seneschal placed the order, claimed he needed to replenish the cellars for Duchess Alea, and demanded I sell back the wine I had purchased from them. That exact vintage, to be precise. You'll want to talk to them. Hero of the Sisters, you're...
Lady Arabelle's assistant? How good to see you again. But I don't remember your name on my schedule today. Did we have an appointment? Do tell. Well, go ahead. After everything you've done for the people of the archipelago, you've earned the right to be direct with me. Lady Arabelle poisoned? Is she all right? But what was that about wine? I haven't placed any orders recently. Not while the castle is still in disrepair. And I haven't appointed a new seneschal since that trouble with Steward Hercian. Again? I thought my knights ran them off after that terrible business with my brother. Thank you for bringing me the news. I'll send a battalion to deal with them right away. I know how this must look, but I am not in league with those malcontents. Did he? Well, I want the Ascendant Lord brought to justice, the same as you. That wine that poisoned Lady Arabelle, was it a Dufort Singular Amber? Vintage 571? I received a similar gift this morning. It's in the Knight Commander's private chamber. The Knight Commander insisted that the anonymous gift be tested before I consumed so much as a drop. It's in her private chamber, waiting for one of my handmaidens to come by and taste it. Feel free to perform your own investigation. There's not much to say. It arrived without fanfare, with an anonymous note. The vintage was my father's favorite. He was still new to his role as Duke when the vineyard turned out those precious bottles. We depleted our own stores of that vintage a long time ago. But everyone at court knows I was fond of that wine. We opened a bottle once a year to celebrate my father and the elevation of House Dufort. I was quite sad when we uncorked the last one. What do you think? Did someone send me the same gift that poisoned poor Lady Arabelle? As we discussed, and you no doubt noticed, the letter was unsigned. My Knight Commander insisted on having someone else taste the wine before she would allow any to pass my lips. I'm just glad you arrived before that happened. Hold on. Earlier you mentioned that the shopkeep claimed that my seneschal placed an order for a large amount of wine. While we did no such thing, one of my sentries informed me that a courier had arrived with an unscheduled delivery. Then your answer may be right outside. I told the sentry to have them wait by the jousting tents until I was ready to deal with the mix-up. Talk to the courier and find out who hired them to deliver the incriminating bottles of wine to my castle. Someone has gone to a lot of trouble to try and remove both myself and Lady Arabelle from the table, while also focusing the blame for this all on me. Speak to the courier and get some answers, or I will. To sow confusion and weaken House Dufort, of course, and to further delay the peace talks, perhaps even scuttle them completely. I have political rivals, but none who would stoop to murder. If I had to guess, this is the work of the Ascendant Order. I fear we'll find the Ascendant Lord's hand on the tiller of most of the recent events that have plagued the archipelago. Call it a feeling deep in my bones. In the meantime, talk to this courier and see what they reveal about whoever hired them.
Are you from the castle? Can I finally make my delivery and be done with this damn job? Ashcrofts? No. Some hooded figures hired me to take some crates to an isolated spot up north. That's where I met another hooded figure. He helped unload my wagon, gave me the crates for Castle Navir, and told me to make the delivery. No names, just enough gold to make me not want to ask any questions. You did hear me say we were in an isolated location, right? But if it helps, they were definitely wearing armor under their hooded cloaks. Knight armor. Right below the cliffs of Garrick's Rest. Look, I know how all this sounds, but I needed this job. Courier work has been hard to come by since the trouble here and on Galen. All I know is I delivered one set of crates and received another for Navir.
Five Claw! Zaji has found you! Lady Arabelle wasn't improving, so Zaji went to find Druid Revana. Do not worry, Five Claw. Casca stands guard at Mandrake Manor. Instead of giving this one more medicine, Revana sent me to find you. Druid Revana wants you to come to her workshop right away. Do you know where it is? Just west of Gonfalon Bay and north of Druid's Gate. When you see her, remind her that Lady Arabelle still needs the antidote. That makes Zaji feel much better. It was good to get out of the manor and do something. All this waiting makes Zaji's ears itch. This one will head back to the manor and make sure Lady Arabelle is taking her tincture.
Ah, there you are. I hope you've had more success than I, my friend. I thought that I'd be able to replicate an antidote using some of the old recipes in my ancient herbal apothecary, but nothing I've concocted thus far has worked. This poison is proving very resistant to our tried and true elixirs. That's just it. I identified the various plants, root, stem, and leaf, but they aren't those plants. Not exactly. Neither did I, at least not at first. But after careful study, I can see that someone with extensive agricultural knowledge created new and more potent versions of the rare plants used to prepare the poison. Oh, did you discover who sent the wine? Garrick's Rest. Strange magic saturates the wildlife around those ruins. If that's the source of the poison, I'll need samples to craft an antidote. Meet me there. I fear we could be dealing with another rogue druid, and a powerful one at that. We'll need to proceed carefully once we get to Garrick's Rest. If we are dealing with a powerful druid, we won't be able to avoid them for long. That sounds like the Ascendant Order. But only a skilled druid could alter plants and create this vile poison. We know they worked with the Eldertide Circle before. Maybe they still have some druid allies assisting them. The tincture I provided will slow the poison's spread, but it won't hold off the inevitable forever. She should be all right for a while longer, but I do recommend we hurry. Once I have a sample of the plants, I know I can craft an antidote.